Indie books, that's where it's at. Remember that when you look at the night sky. Hey everyone, I'm Eric Wag, and I just wanted to talk about book covers today. Uh, just a random topic to talk about. Um, yeah, book covers are important. They are what attracts the reader to look at your book in the first place. So you really want to do a good job on it. Um, but what makes a great book cover? Uh, a cover's purpose is to get the reader to look at the blurb and to look inside your book. Um, so it's advertising. It's the first step in advertising, arguably the most important. Um, don't don't confuse what you like with what works as advertising. Um, as indies, we're driven by passion. Uh, we love beauty. We love beautiful art. But you just have to keep in mind that there's a purpose to that art, which is to get people to look at your book. So think of it as an ad first and foremost. And certainly, you can make a beautiful cover. You just have to keep that in mind. Um, to do that, you may want to get a professional illustrator. It's a very important thing for your book. You've worked hard on that book, and you want to show it up as best as possible. So, you can find them on ArtStation and other places. Uh, talk to a few, find out when and when they can produce stuff for you, if they're willing to. Find people that produce book covers that fit you and your genre, and look at books in your genre. Hop onto Amazon. Uh, what are other people putting out? Particularly, what do the top sellers in your genre have on their covers? This is something you want to look at and think about. You don't have to copy what they're doing, but somehow you have to both fit in and stand out. And that's not an easy thing to do. Um, yeah, I just wanted to clarify that I'm having a conversation about this. I'd love to hear from you in the comments down below, or you can reach me on Twitter, leave comments. Uh, I am not the book cover pope. These are just my ideas, not an expert, but that is the indie community. We may not have uh, a professional background in this, but we're doing it. We're doing it ourselves. Uh, for the rest of the video, I want to talk specifically about fantasy book covers. Fantasy might be better called mythic tales or mythic adventure. I think that's a better name for the genre, but well, we'll have to call it fantasy because that's where we are. Um, that's how it's classified on Amazon and everywhere else. So for now, we'll call it fantasy. Yeah, so from the research I've done and from what I've produced, um, illustrations are usually preferred over Photoshop. Um, so certainly, as I said, a professional artist can help you in this. Uh, if you have a book of another genre, particularly something like urban fantasy, you might want to do a Photoshop cover, a photo bash. It can work. There's also a lot of books out in fantasy now that have like icons and symbols on the cover, uh, and they look pretty good too. Just make sure that whatever you're doing is going to both convey the feel of the genre. Say this is a fantasy book. Hey, pick me up. Um, Another element you want to add to the book cover is action and excitement. This is really part of conveying the feel of the book. As Stan Lee has pointed out, you don't want your characters just standing around. You want them in action poses or doing something dramatic, and that will attract the reader to have a further look. Uh, Another element is you may want to consider putting the hero's face on the cover. Um, you want to connect the reader with your hero pretty soon in your novel. You want them to bond. You want them to, you want your hero to be likable. Um, so if you put it on the cover, it does convey it conveys the personality of your hero and starts the process earlier. Um, so there should also be elements of your theme in your book cover. You know, if it's pirates, have a ship, have a sword duel. Um, if someone's running around in a jungle with a sword, have them fight a snake, something like that. Um, I wanted to bring up something Brandon Sanderson says in one of his free lectures. You should check them out. They're great. Uh, it applies to storytelling, but I think it applies doubly to covers, and that's make a promise. Begin with a promise. So you're making a promise with your book cover of what kind of thing your reader is going to get into. Do not subvert expectations. Don't do it. Um, so you want to convey the genre. You want to convey the theme. Make a promise. Give the reader a visual impression of you and your style, and get them to open the book and have a look. And you'll increase the chances that they will buy your book. I want to show off some books that I think have great covers. I don't want to show anything that I think has a poor cover on it. There are book covers out there in the indie pulp rev Iron Age community that don't have great covers, and I don't want to create drama or anything like that, or convey the idea that the writing isn't good, because some of the writing out there is absolutely spectacular. I think maybe some of them would do themselves a favor by maybe changing the book cover, but I'm going to leave those out. I'm only going to be criticizing my own books here, um, but not this one. Not this one. This is the book that's on pre-order right now. Uh, please check it out. Citadel of Seven Swords. This cover was done by Christoph Porchowski Jr., who I found on ArtStation, and he did a fabulous job. So I'm going to say I like my own book cover here. This is great. I think it has all the elements uh, that that help sell. It's got contrasting colors. It's got the dark and the light. It's got the hero swinging a sword. Lots of action. Ah, you know. So it gives you a promise of what's in the book. I'll show you the back as well. I like how the sword kind of points at the volcano. What's going on in there? You'll have to find out. Okay. Uh, my other series, I did the covers myself. I'm not particularly jazzed about them. Some people have said they really like the covers, and thank you for that. Uh, I don't know. Maybe it's because I made them, so I'm more picky. When I have maybe 5 or 6 of these things together, I'll put them in an anthology, and I'll get someone to do a cover for me professionally. Um, but this is, it's a problem that a lot of indies have is you've got a book. Now it might be a thicker book. You just don't have the money, right? These are smaller. These are novelettes. They're about 10 to 12,000 words a piece. Um, yeah, I can't afford $500 to drop on a cover here. I'd love to, but I can't. Um, so I've done the best I could on my own to attract the reader. We'll just show you the backs briefly. I don't know. What do you think? Drop a comment. So that's the only ones I'm going to be critical of. The next ones, really, the covers did help sell all of these because they're just fabulous. This is a book that I just spoke about in my last video, and that Periapsis Press and A Drink with Crazy just spoke about in a book club talk. You should check A Drink with Crazy out, Periapsis Press. We're going to have another book club coming up soon. Um, anyway, I'll show the book. Rob Rhymes, Dan the Destructor. Uh, hey, a swole dude fighting a giant snake. That's great. Uh, Now it is kind of a simple, stylized cover, but I do like that it has strong black and white on it with one strong color, so it does attract the eye, and it goes along with um, the rest of his series. It looks great with the rest of his series. So black and white with one strong color, really, on all of them. And Rob on his ads on Twitter, he puts them together something like this, you know, and it produces a pretty striking look to it, you know. This one particularly is nice, isn't it? Look at that. There's Fenric. Uh, so Rob did his own covers as well, so he's breaking a rule, but he seems to be getting away with it. I don't know if he has an illustration background or not. It's clear he's got some kind of talent and practice doing it. Looks good. What else do we got here? This is Man of Swords by Robert Victor Mills. Now, I saw the cover. This is the kind of book I would read, but the cover said, "Buy me right now." So I did. That is a great looking cover. Strong black and white themes with the red hair really just focuses you right in the middle of the book. And this does tell a story of what you're going to catch in the book. So it does make the promise, catches the eye. It's a great job. This one here is Morona Grant and the Lost Tomb of Golgotha by Brina Williamson. So, yeah, this really tells a story of, kind of like what Indiana Jones 5 should have been. Um, it looks good. It looks like a cover of a good indie book. Uh, you've got these 1930s, 1940s adventurer types. Uh, what are they doing? It looks interesting. And it's really well done. Uh, as far as I understand, Brina is actually a professional illustrator, uh, and it shows. It's a very nice cover. And this is not really a book. It's more of an anthology, a magazine. Uh, Aegeon. So that's quite a striking thing to look at. So Aegeon from Aureus Press. Um, yeah, obviously, hot lady with a ray gun on the front cover uh, really draws the eye. The strong blue and yellow, very striking. It all points in toward this nuclear explosion in the background. Very exciting theme, and that catches the eye. I think that catches the eye, doesn't it? I think that's a fabulous cover. I don't know who did it. Maybe I'll ask him. But that is, yeah, that's a great looking cover. So that's all I've got for right now. Um, yeah, if you have other ideas, other great covers that you've seen, let me know right here on YouTube in the comments section or on Twitter. Yeah, let me do some YouTube stuff here. Like, share, subscribe, and please support an indie, buy a book, read a book, review a book. Please. Thank you for taking the time out of your busy day to listen to me ramble. I'm Eric Wag. All right. Cheers.